What's the word? What's the haps? What's your major?
So, I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. If you like animation, sub to allocations, make sure to power scale the characters mentioned in this video for no reason. For a series that the creator keeps waffling about whether or not it should be canceled or put on pause due to stress or not, there is a surprising amount of content. And you know what? I got bills to pay, and it looks like this weird Oreo-loving cat child killer thing is the only way to do it these days. And speaking of which, I don't know how else to say it. Apparently her hand, she may or may not have a couple thing going on with her hand. Yes, her hand, her compass, is apparently a character called Mr. Compass. This sounds like some insane, like, I don't know, some weird YouTube kids little thing that's just gonna be brain rot. But no, I'm not clickbaiting. This is hashtag not clickbait. He's an item with an item. I mean, she's an item with an item. Because she might be called Miss Circle, but yeah, she's not really a circle. But that compass, that is just straight up a compass. Like, it's still a cool weapon, but oh my god, that is creative, but very strange. It's like some Soul Eater crap. It's so weird. And also, what I'm sure everyone is here for, which I don't really care for, is apparently she made it purposefully vague enough that you can ship them, though there's nothing canon yet. I don't get the appeal of shipping still, especially in today's era, where the same people who insist everything needs shipping will also turn around and make up something to call the ship that their community forced down everyone's throat problematic. No one in shipping cares. Like, aside from shippers, shippers are the only people who care about everything being problematic, while they're also the only ones who want things shipped in the first place. I don't get it, whatever. So don't kill each other over it and make some weird, stupid accusation like, oh my god, there's a power dynamic with the circle and her hand. The hand doesn't have enough autonomy. It's a hand. It can't fucking move. There are so many jokes. Hold on. There's just too many jokes. I'm losing myself. What's the next thing we gotta talk about? I'm dying. She's in love with her hand. I didn't even know her hand was alive. It's got one fucking eye. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna piss myself. Move on. Oh my god. If you like animation sub to allocations, oh my god. Yo, PXragon, you need some more vowels there. I can't pronounce it. I don't even think human tongue can pronounce your name. Very coquette, very demure, and thank you for letting me reference your art to create something much more terrifying. I apologize.
What's the word? What's the haps? What's your major?
My brother and crocodildo Don D. I have been jebaited, clickbaited, and cucked from master. Jokes aside, I am envious of any artist who can master one style, let alone like 4. Really funny, sometimes you see people who are like, I need to get a bunch of videos out there. Time to go for my really scrunchy chibi style. And then in the community tab, they just make these really beautiful, sexy pieces of beautiful sexiness. And it's like, what the heck? How you're only allowed one talent, okay, good sir or good ma'am or whatever You're a small creature in a small circle with a sub count next to it. Okay, let me dehumanize you. Just kidding. There's not much to say. It's just kind of memes, I guess. I don't know. I'm honestly more interested in the community tab art than the videos themselves. This is one of the few channels where I do find the community tab more interesting than the videos themselves. Have that one YouTuber who is falling off, but you don't jump off the rails because even though everyone has told you they've fallen off, you're seeing irrefutable evidence that they've fallen off. They're pretty bad. Everything they do is bad and kind of goes against what they stand for. And even ignoring that, what they stood for is not exactly worth going through the effort of sticking with these guys till the end, whether it's parasocial relationships or you want to be really extra and dramatic and say, oh, it's Stockholm Syndrome. Well, I am not going to refer to who I'm talking about today, but I will talk about their replacement, Ducksen. And no, again, don't think of the name. That's not who it's replacing either. God damn, I regret for 2022, though. Jesus Christ.
Hentai plot recaps on YouTube. Yes. This.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to talk about this guy. Usually, I've been running into issues of not enough content for me to discuss. Sometimes it's a basic review. Sometimes it's one channel with like they kind of have one gimmick. But honestly, Ducksen has a lot of interesting philosophies, a lot of different... They have a ton of variety within their content itself. Like, you never know. They might do some Friday Night Funkin' thing. They might do a very traditional video essay. They might go with something that's like making fun of social media. Or maybe a documentary on a hyper niche topic, or an animation, or a parody of something old, or life lessons from a panda, which honestly, I kind of like that. That's my favorite video of theirs for sure. I feel like that video especially really puts in perspective on the right way to approach cringe culture, love, cancel culture, a lot of just basically e-shame. I'll dub it e-shame. That's the best approach. And yeah, the title, the Stop Caring thing, that's kind of a good summary. However, it is a lot more nuanced. I highly recommend that video. And it has a good balanced perspective on the subject matter. But you know, it's not like he's going too far in any regard, as far as I can tell either. There is humility, there is shame, there is such a thing as knowing who to kneel to, which is very important. I would love to talk more about Ducksen, their philosophies, and some of the stuff they go into in the future. They have like documentary channel. I could make a documentary on this whole thing. Man, they have a lot of interesting stuff to discuss. They even have a random TF2 SFM for like no reason. This video, 15,000 views, and yeah, I'll make a documentary on Ducksen's channel. And by documentary, I mean I'll go over all of Ducksen's video. More content for you, and more intellectual discussion as well. Not really, it's gonna be idiotic, but all I'll say is this guy's in the Friday Night Funkin' community, and it's not even edgy, he just acknowledges that bad things like the coffin of Andrew D and Lele exist. He so much as acknowledges that, and he hasn't been canceled by the Friday Night Funkin' community. Guys, these people will watch paint dry and then cancel the paint. And then one of their friends will be touched. I'm just saying, that's like an impressive feat because that might be the worst community I've ever seen. It's up there. It is top 3, top 5. Just name a community, and I know your community, and I know why it's bad, and it's probably not as bad. I'm just saying. Meffols is like bringing your dog to a date that you're already overconfident about. But then, not only does she only like the dog, and she doesn't care about you, and the date does not go well, she wants to just steal the dog. And it's like, no, that's my marketable plushie. And she's like, no, it's funnier and cuter than you. It's adorable. And I'm like, you know, I mean, you could have just, like, told me the date didn't go well. And she's like, no. Give me the marketable plushie. And I'm like, no. Stop stealing my property. Stop stealing. I thought you would like it. I thought you'd think it's cute. And she's like, it is cute. And you're not. You're ugly. And I hate you. Give me the dog/plushie. It's like, no, bitch, you're crazy. That's my stuffed animal. What's wrong with you? And she's like, nah, what's wrong with you, incel? And I was like, what does incels have to do with it? Stop stealing my fucking property. And she's like, no, I'm gonna kick you in the balls. And I'm like, please do not. I might not get to everyone in the thumbnails today, but I do want to address how clean Benson dancing's animations end up looking. It's kind of crazy, dude. Like, they look like they're from the original. And God, is humor shocking? Shocking enough that people thought that my thumbnail was well, it's a dress, okay? I'm just gonna say that much because people thought it was much worse. Let's just not address that in just, okay, good editing. Very good editing, very good animation. I can want to integrate animation and editing, yeah. You know how people sometimes like to make jokes about not being able to pronounce a name? We already know the punchline. I'm not gonna attempt. What is this name? Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's go over someone small. Yay! I love talking about smaller channels. It's funny, and also, I feel like this channel can be either described as Benadryl or too many words to describe. So I'm just gonna say a bad Benadryl trip. It's as crazy as it is consistently sinister looking and aesthetic, and the music is it's an acquired taste. With that being said, despite looking like I just woke up in a Homestuck creepypasta, don't get it twisted. This is good stuff. It's terrifying, but I like it. It seems like so a lot of times you see edgy teen stuff and you're like, ooh, cringe. It's an edgy teen. But honestly, I kinda dig the whole... It feels like I'm diving into some fucked up kid's mind. It's kinda terrifying, but it's interesting. The art is very appealing, despite doing some things that fundamentally should not work. The dark reds with lighter greens, that should not work. They made it work. The messy colors, that should not work. But it does feel like what a lot of teens want to do, which is make something kind of disturbing, kind of dark, something that disturbs adults. And like a lot of the time, you kind of just like go, kids. But here, it kind of works. There's enough vague abstractness mixed with creativity for me to feel more overwhelmed than feel like I need to be condescending or anything mean like that. The art itself is pretty simple, but it's also just pretty appealing in its unappealing way. It looks like Azathoth is coming through the tube to eat me and my sanity, and also force feed me more Benadryl than I could ever imagine. So I think that's a good way to end this cute little video with something just as cute. Being force fed Benadryl by hellish, Lovecraftian creatures in Homestuck. If you like animation, sub to any of these guys or me. I mean, I know which one I'd prefer, but I also know which one's probably the better option. Patreon, I also do the detawing, so enjoy that. I also do the day editing. If you like some of the transitions in this video, I'm gonna be going back and doing some of them in After Effects. I'm gonna be doing more of these types of videos in the future just because I've been trying to make too many of these videos last 8 minutes and I get bored. I'm sorry, I get bored. My attention span is a little fried and saying the same thing about everything every time. I can only go so detailed, so sorry. There you go.